Welcome to Meet Me on Main Street, the podcast that takes you straight into the magic of Disney, the thrills of Universal, and everything in between. This is a 407 and Beyond production, where vacations are more than just trips. They're unforgettable family vacations. Be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all socials at Main Street Pod. Now let's get started on this week's episode, because all the best stories begin and end right here on Main Street. Let's do it. Yo, what is up, everybody? This is your guy, Joseph Belveduto, aka Nostalgic Belv. And as always, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today is September 22nd, 2025. And believe it or not, this is episode 14 of the Meet Me on Main Street podcast. We are 14 episodes in already, and it feels so good. As always, guys, you know I'm going to get started with some Disney news, but just a quick little recap of what's going to happen today. I got back from my trip from Orlando last week, and this very easily could be an episode 3 of, or I should say a part 3 of last week's trip. But without getting into extreme detail, I'm going to do a quick little recap, and then I'm going to get into my top 10 ranked rides at Epcot from the 10th down to the best. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to get right into some news. So the first set of news that I'm going to get into is I have a new podcast studio. I set up at a different location. I'm actually up in the attic of my home now. So I have a finished attic up here. And basically the reason I set up for the move is because my wife is pregnant. We are expecting a baby girl February 28th. We're extremely excited. So my studio downstairs in my house had to be pushed to the attic. No big deal. I actually really enjoy it up here. It's pretty cool. I'll have to show some videos on social media at some point. But the best way I could describe the attic is it almost has a feel of like Hey Arnold's bedroom. If you ever seen Hey Arnold, without like the giant skylight window, which would be extremely cool if I had that here. But I wanted to bring that to your attention if the podcast sounds a little bit different. I'm still kind of fine-tuning everything, making sure the sound is perfect. And I actually got myself a new microphone. I got the Blue Yeti, which is it's just a different kind of mic. It's a little bit easier to use, and it's a little bit easier to use on the go. Because one thing I noticed about recording my podcast when I was down in Orlando is my setup was not ideal for on-the-go podcasts. And I plan on doing a lot of traveling and covering it for you guys, so I need to have a good traveling setup. So if things sound different, just know that I am working on perfecting the sound of this podcast, and I will get it perfect in the near future. So Disney will be releasing some Kingdom Hearts Keyblade pins in the coming year of 2026, and it seems like they're going to be doing it monthly. I am a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, grew up playing the games, so Kingdom Hearts is very nostalgic to me. And with that being said, I'm going to lead into something else. This is somewhat some news, but also it's going to lead into a story. So on my recent podcast, I did mention that Grayson, the piano player who plays outside of Casey's Corner, recently got his Legacy Award. And I just want to say congrats to Grayson. He is an amazing pianist and a really nice guy. I got the chance to speak with him the last time I was in Disney. What a good guy. But anyway, with Kingdom Hearts being brought up, I want to bring up a quick story about Grayson. So, when I first started watching Disney Lives on YouTube, there was a woman that I would watch every day when I was doing my laundry. And I was able to see Grayson play the Kingdom Hearts song that everybody knows. It's called Dearly Beloved. If you know Kingdom Hearts, you know exactly what song I'm speaking of. Now, with that being said, I got to see him play the piano the last time I was at Magic Kingdom. My son was inside with my wife getting some mini corn dogs at Casey's Corner. I made my rounds over to grab some of the cheeseburger spring rolls. And when I was coming back to do a meetup with my wife, I heard the piano playing, and Grayson was out playing the piano. So I had to run over there and see if I could throw a request in. I wasn't sure how long he was playing for. I think he usually plays for around 15 to 20 minutes. I wasn't sure how long he was into playing already. And he turned around and yelled out, is there any requests? And before he could even finish the word request, I yelled out, Kingdom Hearts! And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, okay, I'll play some Kingdom Hearts. I know some of it. I don't know all of it, but I'm definitely going to play it. And he smiled. And he proceeded to just absolutely kill it. He is so good, so talented. You could tell that he didn't know the entire song, but because of how good of a pianist he is, he was able to make it work. And I ended up filming a video of it. I put it on my TikTok. If you guys are interested in checking it out, Nostalgic Belv on TikTok, check it out. And so many other people commented on it too, like people who actually play piano. And they said, you know, you could tell he understood the general bass of the song, but he was able to wing it by ear and finish the song out. And it wasn't exactly the way the song's supposed to be played, but it's almost the variation that he played. He made it so good that he's just so talented. And I want to point out, you know, this is why this guy got this Legacy Award. He knows what he's doing. He's a professional piano player at Magic Kingdom in Disney World. You know what I mean? Like, he's the real deal. I just want to say shout out Grayson, because I was able to speak with him afterwards and I said, you know, I have a Disney World bucket list and I was able to scratch that off today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the request. Thank you for being so friendly, you know? What a good guy. So, anyway, moving on. That's my quick little story about my boy Grayson getting his Legacy Award. Congrats once again. In other news, there is a new color palette coming to Cinderella Castle at Magic Kingdom. Some people have been extremely upset about the most recent paint job on the castle. I'd say it's like somewhat of a pink. It's like a pale pink color, but there are some people that are actually throwing a fuss about this. And hey, I get it. If the old school castle was extremely nostalgic to you and they switched it up and you weren't crazy about it, I understand. So, maybe good news for some, maybe bad news for others. They are changing the color palette back to the original colors on the Cinderella Castle, and I assume that is going to be happening in the very near future. Teddy Beara returns to the Country Bears musical jamboree. When I was there on 9/11, I noticed she did not come down from the ceiling during the show, and I thought, well, must just be a malfunction, but it turns out it happened for a few days after that. There was some sort of malfunction, and they were able to fix it, and she has now rejoined the rest of the crew at the Country Bears Jamboree. So if you were there in that time period and you've seen the same thing, don't worry, she is now back. Disney Cruise Line is offering 40% off for 1 week only, and this is valid from October 17th to December 19th. So from now until 9/25, which is 3 days from now, guys, you can book a select Disney Cruise Line for 40% off. This is 1 week only, and it's already been going on for a couple days. And once again, those dates are from the October 17th to December 19th. Reach out to your 407 and Beyond agent and get that booked if that is something you would be interested in. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us over at 407 and Beyond, because all of our services are 100% free, guys. You can't beat that. 100% free. We will handle the planning, you handle the fun, okay? Simple as that. Reach out. We'll get that cruise booked for you. Now, moving on. A little bit of some sad news. Gino the gorilla over at Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom's oldest gorilla has passed away at 44. He's been there since the very beginning, since the day they've opened, guys. So, rest in peace to Gino the gorilla. Thank you for all the fun times. So like I said, guys, I'm not going to get into an extremely deep recap of my last 3 days. As you guys know, I met up with the 407 and Beyond crew. We went to Disney. We did Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Got to meet everybody. Super, super fun. Had a great time. Then we ventured over to Aventura, and we got to tour all those Universal resorts. Got to check out Epic Universe. Got to check out Universal for a little bit. But then, as you guys know, my family flew in on Wednesday. So my son, he really wanted me to hit some of those Disney parks with him again, which you guys know I have no problem doing. I got the annual pass, and I will never pass up on going to Disney World, right? So they did a day at Epcot without me. My son got to ride Guardians, his favorite ride, And then the next day, we all went to Magic Kingdom. So that was the day that I was talking about when I got to see Grayson play the piano. Typical day at Magic. It was a great day. It was a busy day. I will say it was pretty busy in the park that day. Not too much to recap there. Nothing out of the ordinary. We did go back to Tony's restaurant. So I did go there earlier in the week with 407. I went back there with my wife and my kid. And we got those breadsticks again that you pour that cheesy Alfredo sauce on. That is a game changer. Very, very good. And my wife got the fresh sliced tomato with the fresh mozzarella on top with the balsamic glaze. Very, very good. Very good, very fresh. So that's pretty much it, guys. Not going to get into too much about Magic Kingdom. But we did go to Animal Kingdom the next day. And guys, if you were to ask me a year ago to rank my favorite parks from the top to the bottom, I most likely would have said Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. Now, after going to the park so much this year, experiencing as much as I did, now an annual pass holder, so it shows you how much I've been going, I am going to re-rank these. And I am going to put Animal Kingdom at the top. Animal Kingdom is now my favorite park. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with this. Now, why, you might be asking. I'll tell you why. I am a pin trader, okay? You guys know this about me. I have the best luck trading pins at Animal Kingdom. And I feel like everywhere you turn in Animal Kingdom, there's a pin board just sitting there yelling at me, "Hey, Joey, come over here." So that's why I love Animal Kingdom. On top of that, Flight of Passage, it's one of my favorite rides. I really do enjoy Flight of Passage. And there's also a few food spots in Animal Kingdom that I really enjoy, which I'll get more into in this episode. But back to my quick ranking. I'm putting Animal Kingdom at the top. I'm following that up with Hollywood Studios. Then I'm following that up with Epcot, and last, I'm doing Magic Kingdom. I know, it sounds crazy. I put Magic Kingdom last, right? That sounds really crazy. I've seen the castle so many times, guys. It's just not my favorite thing. The other thing about Magic Kingdom is I feel like it's always the most crowded park, right? The rides, you always got to wait the longest on those rides. On top of that, a lot of the rides aren't that crazy. You know, you got Peter Pan. You got It's a Small World. You got Winnie the Pooh. You know, I don't even ride these rides anymore, you know. I think in the future, once we have our daughter and we go back there, I think those rides are going to be a staple for us again. But for right now in my life, this is my ranking. And will the ranking change? It most likely will. But I really enjoy the safari ride. I really enjoy looking at all the animals. Flight of Passage, you know. I don't know. That's where I stand. That's where I stand for right now. And Hollywood Studios has also dropped in, or came up into my second place, which used to be third. There's just so many good rides there. And just the vibe of Hollywood Studios, it's just so good. It's so good. Now, they are a close second. Hollywood Studios and Epcot. They are extremely close to one another. The only reason I put Epcot behind Hollywood Studios is because I really only enjoy Epcot when there is a food festival going on. If there's no food festival, the only reason I'm going to Epcot is for Soarin' and, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. But if there's a festival going on, there's a chance that crosses Hollywood Studios. It does. Because most of the time, there is a festival going on. Most of the time. Anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. But great pin trading that we got in over at Animal Kingdom. Some of the best pins I've gotten in a while off boards, actually. And when we were first walking into the park, I seen a cast member changing some garbages over by Joffrey's coffee stand, and with my eagle eye, I should say, I looked across and I seen he had one of those little pouches around his belt. He had about 9 pins on there. One was flipped upside down in the middle, and I said to my wife, I think we got to get over to that guy because it looks like from here, I could see some good pins on there. She said, how could you see that all the way from here? I said, trust me, let's go over there and talk to him. When I got up closer, I was not wrong. Every single pin that he had on was a real pin. And I seen a Disney D on there, which I don't have any yet. At this point, I didn't have any. And so I walked up and I said, hey, would you mind doing a trade with me? And he said, I'm just changing this garbage real fast. If you want to meet me at that next garbage can, I'll swap my gloves. We'll do a pin trade. I said, okay, perfect. So he swapped gloves, came over, did a pin trade. Of course, I gave him a real pin, guys. If you're going to trade for a real pin, you better give a real pin. That's all I got to say. If there's fake pins on the board and you want to trade a fake pin on the board for a fake pin, I somewhat say that's acceptable. I don't like putting fake pins on there at all, to be honest. I like keeping it real, but we know not everybody's going to play by the rules. Not everybody's going to put real pins on there. So I do agree, if you're going to trade for a fakie, you could put a fakie up. But if you're trading for a real, put a real up. You know what I mean? If nobody did that, there'd never be a real pin on the board at all. Anyway, that's just me going into my little pin rant. You guys know me, I love pins. So I got the Disney D off him. Now, he had that one that was upside down. Me, in case you guys don't know this, if there is an upside down pin that a cast member has, there's two options. One, they do a blind trade. You put up a pin, they take that pin off, no matter what, you trade for it, right? So that's risky. It's risky biz because it could be a fakie if you're putting up a real. Now, did I think it was fake? No, because the rest of his pins he had on there were real. So I'm thinking it had to be a good pin, a real one and a good one. So the other option is it's trivia. You get asked a trivia question. If you get it right, you get to see the pin. If you like the pin, you trade for it, right? I am not good at Disney trivia at all, especially when I'm put on the spot. I'm not very good. So I always let it be known. I say, is it a blind trade or is it trivia? They say trivia, and I go, you know what? I'm pretty bad at trivia, but I'll give it a shot. And usually they'll kind of give me some kind of question that I might be able to get, but not with Evan. Evan, the cast member, he had some really good trivia set up, and I'm going to tell you guys some of the ones that he asked me, okay? So the first one was, which hotel in Disney World does not have a pool? So I sat there for a good 2 minutes thinking. And he's just sitting there very patiently smiling at me. And he said, this is somewhat of a trick question. And my travel agent self, I'm sitting there and I'm rattling through every single hotel and every single resort in my brain. And I'm just like, I cannot think of one resort that, in my head, every single hotel and resort has a pool. So then I'm thinking of, good neighbor hotels. I'm thinking, is there any that are off property that don't have a pool? I'm looking at my wife, can't come up with it. And I say, Evan, you got me. I don't know what it is. And he came at me and he said, the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So he was talking about the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror ride. Technically, it's a hotel, and it does not have a pool. So he hit me with a trick question, but he had more questions to ask, okay? So the next two questions, I'm not going to give the answer to. If you want to look them up, you can, okay? But these are the questions that he asked me. One, without turning around and looking, he told me, what are the 4 animals that are on the front entrance of Animal Kingdom? And I did not get that one right either. I didn't get it right. There was one I couldn't get, and then finally I said I give up. I turned around and I seen it, and I should have known. Should have known what it was. But I'll let you guys look that one up on yourself. That's a fun trivia for you guys. Now, the last question he asked me, luckily my wife was there, and we ended up getting this one right. On what holiday did Animal Kingdom open? And he let us guess quite a few times before we got the answer. So I'm not going to give the answer. If you guys want to look it up, look it up. But he flips over the pad, and there's another Disney D there, which my wife ended up claiming. So Disney pin trading was just off the hook this day. It was really, really good. After this, we had a resi over at Yak and Yeti. And that was my first time eating over there. Guys, game changer. Like, Yak and Yeti is one of the reasons I pushed Animal Kingdom so high up on my list, because it was a really, really good dining experience. The food wasn't extremely overpriced. I ended up splitting a meal with my mother-in-law. There was like these two jumbo shrimp on this little scoop of rice, and the entire rest of the plate was surrounded with seared scallops, and there was this like curry sauce. Oh wow, it was really good. It's early in the morning right now. I usually don't eat in the morning, but now that I'm talking about this food, it's got my mouth watering a little bit. It's got me getting pretty hungry. We also got this crab dip. It had these freshly fried chips, and it was basically a cream cheese base with some fresh lump crab meat and some cheese all mixed together. Really, really good. I also was able to get my very first annual pass magnet. It was Crush. The process was easy. I didn't know how it was going to work. There's signs that literally lead you to the line to get into the line to receive your annual pass magnet. And I was in and out. It took me 1 minute. Got it. It's free. It's included. And thought that was really cool. So I got my first magnet. I was a little undecided about where I wanted to put it. My son ended up choosing location. We put it on the fridge. I was going to put it on my car, but I think around where I live, because there's not a lot of Disney goers, somebody might steal that magnet off my car because of how cool it is. You know what I mean? I'm not taking the chances. We're going to keep it on the refrigerator for now. So besides that day, we ended up over to Disney's Yacht Club, and we went to Beaches and Cream. I seen a couple people get the kitchen sink. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a very, very large bowl of ice cream. I forget how much it costs, but you're gonna need a lot of heads to finish this ice cream. There was a lot of ice cream. I believe they said they actually use an entire can of whipped cream to top off this ice cream. While we were walking to Beaches and Cream, we walked past the Cape May Cafe, and I have to say the smells that were coming from there. It's basically a buffet. And it just smelled so good. Almost tempted to cancel the Beaches and Cream Resi and go there because of how good the food smelled. And then afterwards, I realized for an annual pass holder, that was one of the locations that gets you 40% off the food. So we could have ate there 40% off, but I don't regret eating over at Beaches and Cream because it was very, very good. I ended up splitting a sandwich with my uncle. We got the Reuben. It was really good. Chili cheese tots, game changer, super good. Milkshakes, everything. They got the whole thing over there. After that, we went to go check out the cake bake shop. A lot of people are always complaining about the pricing of this spot. You slice of cake's over $20 here, but it was good. It was really, really good. Was it worth the price? I don't know. Not really sure. I'm undecided on that still. It's steep. It's steep for a slice of cake, But we did get the banana pudding there as well, and I will say, game changer. That was very, very good. Like the best banana pudding I've ever had in my life. And you might be thinking to yourself, it's just banana pudding. You know what I mean? But no, it was a game changer how good this banana pudding was. It's so basic, but it was so good. Yeah, guys. Other than that, I saw somebody on TikTok, and they ranked Epcot's top 10 rides, okay? And I thought that this person's opinion was okay. There was a few rides on that, from 5 to 10, that I was surprised. So I thought it might be fun to do my top 10 over at Epcot and rank it from 10 all the way down to 1. So here we go. So one more thing I will add is there are actually 11 rides, but I will say, don't get mad at me. Mission Space, I never rode before, so I didn't put it on here. But if I had to put it on here, from everything I hear, it's going to be 11. Okay, so now counting back from 10 all the way to 1, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but here we go. Number 10, I'm putting Nemo. Okay, some people are going to get mad at me for that. It's between Nemo and Figment. But there's just something about Figment. Figment is the OG, okay? You guys can say whatever you want about Figment, how it's one of the worst rides, whatever. Figment is the OG. And plus, the area you get off, and you can go check out the store, and there's some fun activities you could do there with the kids. I enjoy that. Now, of course, yes, Nemo has the same. As soon as you get off Nemo, there's a lot of going on that you can see there. There's the aquarium. I'm not, like I said, not too much detail. Number 10, Nemo, followed by number 9 is going to be Figment. Okay. Followed by number 8, we're going to put Spaceship Earth. Some people really hate Spaceship Earth. Me personally, nostalgic. You guys know me. I'm Nostalgic Belf. You know what I mean? I love nostalgia. And Spaceship Earth, I don't want them to change a thing about that ride. Keep it the way it is. We need that ride the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Number 7, we're going with Living with the Land. Okay? Little educational, little step away from the chaos, because sometimes things get a little chaotic. You just sit down, you enjoy that ride, right? You listen, you learn. Some people, I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn while I'm on vacation. Come on, get real here, people. Get real. Living with the Land, it's a decent ride, okay? Ride that ride. Followed by number 6, the Grand Fiesta Tour. I'll be honest, this past year that I've gone to Disney, this is the first year I've ever rode that ride. My family growing up, we never went into that pyramid. We never went in. There's a lot going on in there too, guys. You could very easily not see Grand Fiesta Tour. And it's a good ride. If you're missing out on Grand Fiesta Tour, next time you go, get on that ride. It's a good ride. Number 5, Test Track. I'll be honest with you. This last time I went to Disney was the first time I rode Test Track. It was under construction all year pretty much, so I wasn't able to ride it. And when I was a kid, I swear the ride was down every single time we wanted to ride it. So this was the first time I rode it. And I'll be honest with how highly everybody speaks of this ride. And this was the 3.0 version. I wasn't very impressed. There's only one part of that ride right before you shoot out onto the track where you go into that room and you see like the futuristic city. That is the only part of the ride where I was like, wow, like this is cool. And you're in there for literally 3 seconds. So that's where we're putting Test Track. Number 4, we're going with Frozen. Frozen, it's past my time. I never even seen the movie. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I never watched Frozen. I got a little girl on the way. We're gonna watch it. You know what I mean? We're gonna watch it at some point. I know you guys are yelling at me right now. You never watched Frozen? The ride's good. It's a good ride. Enjoy it. I enjoy it. Number 3, Remy's. Somebody on TikTok said that Remy's is a stupid, dumb version of Spider-Man. It's not true. It's not true. I mean, it's similar. They got the same kind of track going on, like that type of thing. Actually, no, I think Spider-Man's a little crazier. But Remy's it's a good ride. It's a very good ride. That's why I got number 3. Number 2, I think you guys know my 1 and my 2. Number 2 is Soarin'. Such a good ride. Such a good ride. The smells, the visuals. It's amazing. It's a really good ride. I know you guys know Soarin'. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Guardians is probably the best ride in Disney World. A lot of people, that's controversy too. A lot of people want to talk about that. Is Guardians the best ride in Disney World? It's very good. Flight of Passage, very, very good. Guardians, very, very good. Tron, you know what I mean? Those are probably the top 3, I would say. But Guardians is up there, guys. Guardians is a very, very good ride. So, with that being said, guys, that is a wrap for the pod today. Next week, I'm going to be switching it up a little bit. We're going to try something out, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll leave it as a surprise until next week. But, guys, as always, make sure you follow the podcast on Instagram. We are Main Street Pod over on IG. If you want to follow me personally on my social medias on IG, I'm Nostalgic Belf. TikTok, I'm Nostalgic Belf. Make sure you guys go and follow 407 and Beyond on all social medias. We're on everything. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're all over the place, and we are pumping out content every single day that you could use for your vacation planning. And of course, if you need help with your vacation planning, and guys, I'm gonna throw it out there one more time. 100% free. Over at 407 and Beyond, we will help you. We will get you a travel agent, and we will make sure that we handle the planning and you handle the fun, right? So, guys, if you can, leave the podcast a review. Why? Because it helps. It helps push the podcast up, and it helps reach new people with the pod. And as always, I always say, share the podcast with somebody else who enjoys the genre, right? So, guys, that's going to be it for episode 14. I want to just say one more time, have a fantastic day. Whether you're listening during the day, you're listening at night, have a good day, have a good night. Much love, and I will see you guys next week, okay? Meet me on Main Street. So long.